Can't really see much of you, but that's okay. Everything changed when I first enjoyed a cup of black coffee. Coffee before that was bitter, dark, roasty, but somewhat tolerable with the addition of milk and sugar. Basically, it was crap coffee. I had this preconceived idea of what coffee was, and I was very wrong about that. 7 years ago, when I was still in high school, my family opened up a specialty coffee bar. For me, it provided a fun working environment. I made some good money, and I actually enjoyed making coffee. Then came Ryan. Ryan was a friend of mine, but Ryan was also a craftsman who loved everything about making good coffee. He couldn't understand why people didn't love it as much as he did. And that was particularly me. Surprised to find out that I didn't enjoy black coffee, Ryan brought his French press to work. That's a Bodum. Most of you probably have them in your house. I carefully watched him prepare every step to a French press. To the amount of water, the coffee that he was using, and it became a craft in my eyes, watching him do it. So he set a timer, a skeptical 4 minutes went by, and the timer went off. He carefully plunged the coffee, and he poured each of us a cup. Me not really caring about what he was doing, but respecting Ryan, I grabbed the coffee immediately to take a sip. But he stopped me. He said it was important to wait before sipping. Coffee, as it cools, actually gets better in flavor. A bad one will get worse, and a good one will get better. So he gave me the okay, and because I respected Ryan, I was able to just listen to him, but I still was kind of expecting the same thing. So I took a sip, and it wasn't that. It wasn't like any of the coffees I had in the past. This coffee was not bitter, it was not gross, it was not roasty, but in fact it was pretty sweet and full of flavor, and I liked it. As you can imagine, that didn't really sit very well with me, because all these years I'd had coffee and I didn't enjoy it. So why was that? And being the selfish person I was, I decided, you know what? If Ryan can make a good coffee, then I can make a better one. So I wanted to win at coffee. I wanted to make the best cup of coffee ever. Over time, this is what would become my passion. During those years, I began to focus and appreciate all aspects of making coffee. That involved the coffee itself, where it came from, the flavors and characteristics, what processes it can go through, the people involved, the farmers, roasters, baristas, the procedures, different techniques and ways to brew coffee, the science, testing theories, calculating extraction, whatever, right? It goes on forever. As I worked through these elements, I realized they were all connected in some way, but I couldn't find that connection. All of them, then it one day birthed on me that all of these things were connected to an experience. The experience created was actually much more than the coffee. I discovered that my true passion was not actually the coffee anymore. It was providing the best experience possible. Coffee was my outlet. So over time, as I immersed myself in the craft, I began to notice people reacting the same way that I did from Ryan's coffee. People would say things like, wow, I didn't know coffee could taste like this, or wow, I could never drink a coffee black. And my personal favorite, now I can't drink coffee anywhere else. You can imagine how I could love that as an operator. We called that the virus. You create something truly amazing, but it can only be replicated by others who are as passionate about making coffee. It is replicatable by people who are as good as I think I am. Yeah, hearing people say that this was the most rewarding response to something that I had prepared. That became community. Relationships were built not only locally, but around the world. I literally searched the globe for an experience that embodied everything I'd learned about coffee. You start to appreciate and respect the people who are as passionate in their own field as you are in yours. So in a sense, you get from it exactly what you put in. I have 2 questions for you to think about. In your work, do you feel good about giving a good experience? If so, when something goes wrong, do you feel terrible? That feeling is your friend. That feeling is passion. Once you start to appreciate the process, the taste, the experience, it infects you, it changes you. And most importantly, it starts to change your appreciation for everything around you birthed out of passion. That includes, for me anyway, was craft beer, classic cocktails, fine foods, quality music, cameras, clothes. You get the idea. For me, it was anything birthed out of passion. For the first time, I saw the effect of a refined craft that was birthed out of passion. So what's my big idea here? Let your passion drive you. Let it take over, because when you do, you will begin to truly enjoy the experiences created by it. Even something as simple as enjoying your coffee. Thank you.